Mastering security risks. Your company's supply chain is a ticking time bomb for data breaches. Why do our company's supply chain and third-party relationships pose potential security risks that its management needs to understand and address to prevent potential breaches or threats to its sensitive data and systems? The supply chain and third-party relationships of a company pose potential security risks that its management needs to understand and address to prevent potential breaches or threats to its sensitive data and systems. This is because the supply chain and third-party relationships introduce additional vulnerabilities and attack surfaces that can be exploited by malicious actors. Here is a detailed solution to mitigate these risks. Supply chain risks. 1. Component risks. The company's supply chain may introduce components that are compromised or malicious, which can lead to the introduction of malware, backdoors, or other security vulnerabilities. To mitigate this risk, the company should implement a rigorous component testing and validation process to ensure that all components meet security standards. 2. Manufacturer risks. The company's supply chain also depends on the security practices of its manufacturers. If a manufacturer's systems are compromised, the company's systems may also be at risk. To mitigate this risk, the company should conduct regular security audits and risk assessments of its manufacturers to ensure they meet security standards. 3. Shipping and logistics risks. The company's supply chain is also vulnerable during the shipping and logistics phase. Components can be tampered with, stolen, or lost during transportation. To mitigate this risk, the company should implement secure logistics practices, such as using secure packaging, GPS tracking, and tamper-evident labeling. Third-party relationship risks. 1. Data sharing risks. When the company shares sensitive data with third-party vendors, it can increase the risk of data breaches. To mitigate this risk, the company should implement data sharing agreements that outline the security controls and protocols that must be followed by third-party vendors. 2. Access risks. Third-party vendors may require access to the company's systems and networks, which can introduce additional security risks. To mitigate this risk, the company should implement least privilege access controls, ensuring that third-party vendors have only the access they need to perform their job functions. 3. Dependency risks. The company's systems and operations may rely on third-party vendors, which can create dependencies that can lead to security risks. To mitigate this risk, the company should implement contingency plans and alternative solutions to ensure business continuity in the event of a third-party vendor failure or security breach. Risk management strategies. 1. Risk assessment. Conduct regular risk assessments to identify and prioritize potential security risks in the supply chain and third-party relationships. 2. Vendor evaluation. Evaluate third-party vendors based on their security practices and protocols to ensure they meet the company's security standards. 3. Contractual requirements. Includes security requirements in contracts with third-party vendors to ensure they understand and commit to meeting the company's security standards. 4. Monitoring and auditing. Regularly monitor and audit the company's supply chain and third-party relationships to ensure compliance with security standards and identify potential security risks. 5. Incident response. Develop an incident response plan that outlines the procedures to follow in the event of a security breach or incident related to the supply chain or third-party relationships. 6. Employee education and awareness. Educate and raise awareness among employees about the potential security risks associated with the supply chain and third-party relationships to prevent human error and ensure that employees can identify and report potential security risks. 7. Continuous improvement, continuously review and improve the company's risk management strategies and practices to stay ahead of emerging threats and risks. By implementing these risk management strategies, the company can effectively mitigate the security risks associated with its supply chain and third-party relationships, protecting its sensitive data and systems from potential breaches or threats.